248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. Got some feedback we'll get to here in a moment. But I do want to get to this just because I was given a heads up. Not saying it was going to happen, but just something to think about. Something to think about. Big Ten football, right? Pretty good. Big Ten East football, pretty good. Ohio State loses Urban Meyer, but I'm going to tell you, I think they're still going to be pretty good. Michigan's 10-2 season, looking for an 11th win, had a pretty good year. And under Jim Harbaugh, pretty consistently winning 10 games. Michigan State program is pretty damn good. Sure, had some setbacks in the last 3 years, but it's still pretty damn good. Penn State, I'm not the biggest fan of James Franklin's in-game coaching and some of what he says at his press conference, but the man can recruit. This is a disappointing year. They went 9-3. When you're disappointed at 9-3, your program's actually pretty good. And then also in the Big Ten East is Rutgers and Indiana and Maryland. And Maryland just hired a new head coach. And that head coach is Mike Locksley. And Mike Locksley is considered an elite recruiter. And Mike Locksley comes from Alabama, where he was the offensive coordinator. Now, he was a head coach before. It was at New Mexico or New Mexico State. And as much as I love college football, the difficulty I have of knowing which one's Lobos and which one's the other one, Wolfpack maybe, I don't know. But he didn't have a lot of success there. But he's coming from Alabama to be the head coach at Maryland. Who's Alabama's quarterback? Tua Tagovailoa. Who's Tua's backup? Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts may transfer. What if next year Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for Maryland? Now, again, I want to be clear here. I'm not saying that's what I'm hearing is going to happen. I'm just saying something interesting to keep an eye on. I mean, if you're Mike Locksley and Jalen Hurts is going to do the Kelly Bryant tour and look where to play his last year of college football, and he wants to go somewhere where he knows he can play, does he follow Mike Locksley to Maryland? And how does that change Maryland's status in the Big Ten East? I don't think it makes him an instant contender by any stretch of the imagination. But with their young running backs, and don't be fooled, their young running backs are good. Their young running backs, you put Jalen Hurts into the mix, just something to think of. Just something to think of. 248-539-9797. Who knows? I mean, I like I said, I'm not reporting this. Just kind of giving out. Think about this for a second. Doesn't seem like too much of a stretch, does it? But the coordinator leaves that offense. Now, who knows what Jalen Hurts' role is going to be when they get to the playoff? That kid came in the SEC championship game and was fantastic. And I was happy to see it. Very happy to see it. I think what happened last year with him, and I'm not going to say to him, I don't think there was anything unfair that happened to him. In the sport of football, you know, the coach should go with the best player that gives him a chance to win. And at halftime of the national championship game, Alabama was sputtering a little bit, and Nick Saban put his brass ones out there and threw the freshman in there, and the kid came through in a big way. And then won the starting job this year. Hurts played a little bit all season long, but stuck it out at Alabama when he could have transferred. And I always say this, when it comes to these kinds of decisions, I respect the individual's right to do what they want to do. If you love Alabama, the school, your teammates, or you think you can compete and play, want to stay, good for you. Could he have transferred and gone somewhere else and maintained the year of eligibility, taken the red shirt and maintained a year of eligibility? Absolutely. He could have. But he decided that he wanted to stick it out with Alabama. And my word, was he rewarded in the end. To come into that game against Georgia after Tua got hurt, he goes, 5 for 5 on his first drive? Let him down the field to a score. Finished the game 7 of 9 for 82 yards, a touchdown, 5 carries, 28 yards, and a touchdown. And the story, the message of perseverance, the message of sticking with it, I think the reward for Jalen Hurts is somewhat intrinsic, but he will be cited for years to come as how it can go if you decide, you know what? I'm losing this battle, but I'm going to keep battling. Especially if you love everything else about where you're at. You love the school. You love your team. You love the town. And the only thing that's missing is the playing time. I think it's a great message. So I root for Jalen Hurts. But just a thought, what if Jalen Hurts follows Mike Locksley to Maryland? Could be interesting, couldn't it? 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. Hey, man, look, disappointing news for Michigan State fans. Vernon Carey deciding to go to Duke, considered by some to be the top high school player in the country. I mean, if you want to vent about that, feel free. You know, I would just say this. With the one-and-done premise of college basketball, we had a guy send a text earlier about how much he liked this current Michigan State team. I don't look at this current Michigan State team and see a surefire pro. But that this team could make a deeper run than the last two did with surefire pros. Is that something that, the one and done, you don't say no to a one and done, but I kind of feel like the one and done has its challenges as well. So maybe the silver lining is another year trying to build upon something and trying to keep some roster stability without somebody that's going to parachute in, play, and be gone after a year. Look, I mean, you don't say no to those kids, but you can build and win without them. 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. So, lots on the table there if you want to get into any of that. Pistons last night lay an egg. Very, very disappointing. Topgolf opens tomorrow at Auburn Hills. What does Detroit need now that we don't have? And no, if you send in NFL football, you are not being clever or unique. You are being cliche.